Do you want to outsource like a pro, like a real tech savvy expert? In this video, I'm going to give you my top tech strategies, and this is going to really streamline your outsourcing. With these tools, you're going to be able to manage your virtual team even easier. So get ready to level up your outsourcing game. Let's get started. I'm Joey Vitale. Welcome back to the channel where I help you escape the grind, hire all-star VAs, and cut your work week in half. Let's dive in. First off, I want you to remember this phrase: simple first, ninja later. Let me say that again. Simple first, ninja later. I can't tell you how many business owners, lawyers, online course creators I've seen. They build this super complicated tech stack, really fancy funnels on the back end. And don't get me wrong, it looks pretty impressive, but it's like always breaking down, or there's something that's not right, or it just wasn't necessary for them to do what they wanted and really achieve their goals. And I'll be transparent, I've made this mistake a lot. Whether it's my CRM or Facebook ads, I also have a tendency to think that more complicated is better, but I've learned to resist that urge. And now one of my favorite mantras when it comes to tech, team building, business growth is simple first, ninja later. Usually what this simple first strategy means is, let's look and see how we can leverage Google Drive, Google Docs, spreadsheets, etc. before we look elsewhere. I do a lot of consulting with business owners where I bring them behind the scenes and show them what we're doing. And a lot of times they're pleasantly surprised with the fact that we have so many just simple Word docs and spreadsheets that are going on behind the scenes helping us track stuff. Now, yes, there are certain times and certain techs that we've evolved where we've elevated from a Google Drive type of app to something more sophisticated. But I've really learned to start simple. So again, simple first, ninja later. Stick to the basic tools that you have, especially if they're free, and see how far that can get you. All right, let's talk about my second tech tip, which is all about team communications. Specifically, stop communicating with your team over email. Instead, just use Slack. I promise it's worth it. Over the years, I've recognized that there are all of these problems associated with trying to use email as the primary means of communicating with your team, because it can get super easy to get lost in certain threads, and sometimes you forget to include the right teammate, or someone replies but doesn't reply all. It can just get really confusing. And that's why Slack is so handy. So inside our Slack app, we have a bunch of different channels, and we include certain teammates on each one of those channels. So it becomes really easy when we have a certain type of communication that we want to send to a certain department or to a certain teammate. We talk through those channels, not through direct messages. That really helps the communication stay organized, and it's really simple for people to go back and see what was happening communication-wise as a reference. All right, number 3, let's talk about using Loom.com, because I absolutely love it. Loom is the app that we are using to send quick free video recordings of me or whoever else on the team doing something, firing it off to another teammate. I've learned that one of the best things that I can do with my time is record a Loom video of me doing something that I don't want to do anymore and sending it to the team so they can start turning it into an SOP, a process, and someone else can start to do it instead of me. In fact, this has turned into a metric that I now track every week, where it's my responsibility to send at least 3 Loom videos to my team, one of my teammates, every single week. So every single week, I am recording a video that's gonna save me time in the future. By the way, if you're not sure what you would record yourself doing as a time-saving technique with your team, I'd encourage you to start with, when you manage your email, record yourself doing that, send that to your team. That can be a really, really helpful way to get out of your inbox management more and more. And if you want extra help with that, click the link below to grab my Master Your Inbox mini course. This comprehensive mini course is packed with actionable tips so that you can finally achieve inbox zero and stay there. All right, I shared my metric of sending at least 3 Loom videos a week, and that's a really great metric. Another one has to do with Zapier and automations. So another metric that I have at a weekly basis is to create or update 2 zaps every week. We use Zapier that really helps us with setting up automations. If you're not familiar with Zapier, you gotta get on it. If you've ever wanted one app to talk to another app magically and automatically, Zapier is the way to make it happen. And yes, I'm a huge fan of outsourcing and delegating, but if I can automate something, I would rather do that than have a teammate work on it. And so we don't just use Zapier, we lean into it and we get creatively innovative every single week with what can we be doing to make our automations better, more effective, and save our entire team's time. The last point I'll make in this video is to always keep in mind that there are two pieces to every process that you create in your business. That's right, there are two main pieces or tech tools that you're gonna need for every single process in your business, or else it's just not gonna be effective. Here's what I mean. One part is the process itself, that SOP, standard operating procedure. This can be inside of a Google Doc or Trainual or Process Suite, but this is a document that breaks down the different tasks and subtasks that are required every time that this task or project gets done. The other piece is inside your task management software. When you or a teammate are working on that task, boxes are getting checked and you're able to track that work is getting done and it's getting done by deadlines. I share this because I can't tell you how many business owners I've helped with their processes, and they were only thinking of one or two of these types of tech. Either they were only thinking of, let me create the process and have a place where that's spelled out and documented really well, or they were thinking about, let me have a task management software where every time that someone's getting this stuff done, it's being tracked correctly. But you really need both of these pieces in order for you and your team to work effectively. It's kind of like how every recipe has ingredients and then instructions. Well, every strong process has the SOP and then the task being managed in tech. Don't forget those two important pieces to your process puzzle as you start delegating and outsourcing. I'll go deeper on this topic and include other resources that will help you escape the grind, hire all-star VAs, and cut your work week in half. Now, if you want to continue learning more about outsourcing, I got you. Click the video that's on the screen now.